Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second podcast here on eSpeak. I'm here with our co-host, MMYUMMY. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing very good, and before we get started, I want to mention that we are now posting our podcasts on SoundCloud, and there should be a link down in the description or on the channel page, or if you guys aren't lazy, you could just go onto SoundCloud and search for us specifically. So now,
exactly.
now the people whining about our podcast can download them and listen to them in the car, or in the plane, or in Saudi Arabia, anywhere where there's no internet. They can listen to some
the
eSpeak.
jungles of Africa.
Yeah, they can get some eSpeak fill.
They can get their weekly dose. Which actually, we gotta get started with our weekly dose. It's unfortunate we started this channel last week, and our spring break was this week. So typically we have like a schedule. I don't know if we want to say exactly how we're doing it in terms of like our own personal things.
Yeah, because we the very first video wasn't sticking to that schedule.
Yeah, we wanted to have. We're gonna be uploading these videos every Saturday. And this video, the first one we did was on a Wednesday, and so we thought about it and we were like, should we have another one for Saturday, which would be in like 2 days, or should we just wait like a week and a half and then have it on Saturday? And I think we're just gonna do that. Honestly, we're recording this on Wednesday, so we actually could just post this on Wednesday again.
Yeah.
And this could turn into the regular time.
I'd be fine with it being Wednesday.
No, I mean it could be Wednesday, and it's a decent day in the week that Wednesday would be.
After this week, it should be a normal upload schedule. It won't be this this was just poor timing for us starting our channel right the week before spring break, so shouldn't be.
Yeah, very, very poor timing. That was just our mistake. We kind of just saw the channel, or we thought of the idea, and we just do it. We were just let's do it. Let's just go with it. And so I think that was a little bit of a mistake, but in the end it doesn't really matter, because I know you guys want to listen to it, those 5 people who watch us right now, but that hopefully will explode soon. But let's get into what we were talking about, what the title says, what the SoundCloud title says, and that is the sponsorships in esports and kind of what they have an effect on the game itself, because there's some big news, and you can talk about it.
Oh yeah, just a few days ago we actually had an idea to do this subject like a week ago. I think it was like either the day that we did our first podcast or the day after. And then a few days later, this story came out that the American Counter-Strike team NRG has been sponsored by the city of Washington, D.C. And it's not like the municipal city itself. It's like this it's kind of it's like an offshoot of the municipal government of the city. It's like their events bureau or something like that, and they're actually going to sponsor it. And it says in the article that they would like to turn DC into the capital of esports, and that's kind of laughable.
That's kind of weird.
Since when does Washington DC get associated with it? I don't think there's ever been a major esports event in DC. But DC actually has kind of a cool logo, and I wonder if that's going to be on the NRG guys' jerseys now. But NRG is actually a rising NA team. They've been around for a long time, but they recently just dumped like 3 European players that they just randomly had on their roster, and now the roster that they have now is actually pretty good. They're like 6-2 in the ESL Pro League right now, North American side. I think they're in like 4th place, so they're actually doing pretty well. So this is a cool team, or a cool deal.
Yeah, that's like something that I don't really like. I was still a little bit confused about it, and it's basically you say like, so it's like the city sponsors the team or whatever. Like who decides? Is it like the mayor of the city like decides that they enjoy the team, or like how does that work?
It's more like it's like an event organizing like section of the government, like someone who they organize sporting events and such, like and I guess it's on a smaller scale than professional sports, so that they can it might be a new section of the government, or a new bureau or whatever, because it doesn't really go into that in the article. It's more about just these DC guys talking about how their mission is to help drive entertainment sports activities to attract tourists to Washington.
I mean, let's be real here. I think that they have a good idea of, I'm glad that they're interested in something like this, but I really don't think they understand that I don't think this will attract people to the city for the city. I'm pretty sure esports guys are into esports because they want to see esports, and they don't give like one shit about
They're kind of thinking
itself.
in the mindset of like the Olympics or the World Cup,
and
people want those because it causes like immediate growth, but it's not lasting. I was in an urban planning class my freshman year, just cause I needed a social studies class, and it was actually really interesting. Learning why cities are the way they are, and it's actually like Olympics and World Cups can be extremely harmful to cities, and they're always well intentioned. Like they specifically do them if they want, to heighten tourist attraction. But after the games end, it's kind of like the majority of it
dull.
leaves. Yeah. And then whenever all that leaves, it's like you have all these new hotels and stadiums and shit, and they're not gonna be used. So it causes economic problems.
Yeah, there's like photos and stuff that you can see. Like even the Brazil one, like the training pool. I don't know if you've seen that photo, but the Brazil training pool. There's like a before photo where it was like all crystal blue, and now they had a photo of it. I think it was just like a couple months ago, and it's like green moss everywhere. Like the background, like the
It was
the
like
images
that. It
that
was
they
like
had there
that
was,
during the games.
Yeah, it was like that during the games with the
It was
mosquitoes.
disgusting. Yeah.
The Zika.
Yeah, let's all
whatever.
get Zika. Let's all go. Let's go to
Yeah,
Brazil.
exactly. I feel like dying to mosquitoes. That sounds legit.
Yeah, but of course, with this with esports sponsorships, it's not going to reach that level. I don't think there's really going to be a tourist attraction like increase, unless like they start doing like regular events in DC. But I'm not really sure if they're planning on doing that.
I still really want like kind of like an esport Olympic, but it's not really Olympics. Just like nations are on a team, kind of like the World Cup.
Yeah,
I really would love to see that because
for Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they don't for Dota though, and I think that'd be really, really cool.
It's like not many people watch it. I don't think it has a very big prize pool, but it's like they have like a world championship.
That'd be so cool.
And I think like Argentina is like really good in it. Argentina has this team called like the Miami Flamingos or something like that, and they'd never play against top tier teams. But watching the players like stream, they look like unbelievably good, and there's like so much hype about them. So I'm like, why aren't they competing? Right?
They're probably just practicing still. They're like one day
they're not even like they're not even going to qualifiers or anything. It's weird.
Maybe they just want to wait till they're like ultra good and then enter the scene and then just take everyone by storm and then just sweep everything. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, what a shock, and then just take everyone out by storm. But no, I think that I think it's a cool concept, and I think that one thing I do want to see for sure in esports is like, I don't know if DC will do this, but the building of massive arenas, because I think that, right now I think it's okay. Like, to be fair, I think it's fine, but I think that there could be some really cool accommodations that venues could have if they had their own arenas that you can't now, and I think that would be really, really cool. Like, for instance, it would be cool if in some arenas, what you had was, if you had like a legit esports arena, you could have like computers set up in like a room where they could play CS:GO or Dota or League or Overwatch or that esport just for fun, something like that they can't now, because all these stadiums were built for legitimate sports such as basketball, football, auditoriums, event centers, and stuff like that. And I think that if you had arenas built for specifically esports, it'd be really cool. I think that'd be really awesome.
I'm not sure how different they could make it for the main events on the stage or in the center or whatever, wherever the actual event's happening. That's why they tend to just use basketball or hockey arenas.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I think that the way they have it now, because we obviously know they have to set up and take down, and for them to be able to set it up and take it down, it looks actually really incredible. And this goes for all esports. It looks really, really incredible. Thinking, I don't really think about it much, but they have to put that stuff up, and then within when it's over in a day, they have to get it back to the basketball arena or something, and it looks really incredible. So it's I don't know if you had your own arena, you obviously would be able to keep all the stuff there, like the little boxes and stuff. But, you know, what I feel like I agree to your point though, like what else could they possibly add to it if it was permanent? Because it already looks like hella good in my opinion.
Is really messing up right now. This is weird.
I don't know.
It keeps freezing.
Oh.
But yeah, it keeps going.
Well,
it just it says was not responding and then stopping and then restarting. So I'm not sure how much more. Well, what else would we talk about with sponsorships?
Well, I think that something that's pretty cool, and I've seen at least in the Dota scene, is that sponsorships are now starting to leave gaming or leave stuff that is related to esports. And by that I mean, you know, you always have like the very, very obvious sponsors. You have like Twitch, G2A,
Logitech,
SteelSeries, you get it, HyperX, Logitech, HyperX, just all of these sponsors that are very, very kind of related to gaming. And now we've seen, especially in Dota, there's one sponsor, FYM Hot Sauce, who sponsored a team, and that got a lot of craze just because it was like the first
a hot sauce brand.
A hot sauce, FYM. I'm pretty sure FYM stands for fuck your mouth, but I don't actually know. That's just what someone told me. Like the first thing I told them when I was like, oh, I got FYM hot sauce, and they're like, you know what FYM stands for, right? And I was like, no. And they're like, it's fuck your mouth. And I was like, oh, Jesus, okay.
That's
so, I mean, it's a funny brand. Like, if that is what it stands for, I've got to give kudos to the guys because I think that's actually really funny. But they got a lot of hype for that because it was the first kind of thing that wasn't an esport, like, gaming-related sponsor. I want to see more of that, you know?
Yeah, and it was either, I think it was earlier this year after Astralis won the major. Astralis is now sponsored by Audi.
Oh wow!
Like they have a full sponsorship with Audi, and North is sponsored by Adidas. So the two top Danish teams are sponsored by major major non-gaming sponsors, which is pretty incredible.
What does Adidas stand for again? It's like all day I dream about sex or something like that. I think that's what it is.
It's the name of the guy who founded the company is what it stands for.
Oh, I thought it was all day.
His last name was Adidas.
Oh, okay. See, yes. I thought it was all day I dream about sex.
You dirty degenerate.
You dirty Dan. No, but
that was so dumb. What?
Why
would that be what it stood for?
I thought that was what it stood for. We were talking about Adidas, and I was just like...
It's a shoe company.
I thought that was...
Used by adults.
Adidas is really sick shoes, but that's what I thought it was. Yeah. I'm being real. Like, if we're keeping this podcast casual, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Gotta just let it go, man. No, I think that, like, that's really cool. That's a lot bigger than Dota has right now. I mean, I think, like... I guess you could say, like, Monster Energy, but to be honest, Monster is kind of in that realm anyways, so I don't really see that being... that crazy. But I really like seeing the sponsorships leading that way, and I'm still really confused as to how sponsors work exactly, because like I feel like if you're being a sponsor, it's really, really hard to sponsor a team because it's not something that is guaranteed anything, you know. Like if they win, they lose.
Well, sponsors are basically just advertising deals, like your they put their logos on their jerseys, and they pay them to use their products or wear their logos on their jerseys or wear their clothing, and they pay them to win as well because it furthers the brand. Yeah, and it furthers the brand. Of course, like a team has to be, you know, fairly decent to get a sponsor or a good sponsor, because it's like we're not just gonna go throw our money away. So yeah, I could definitely see like Ford or Chevy or someone sponsoring a top NA team at some point.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I saw that Chevy's like the main sponsor for Manchester United, and I was like, that's kind of weird.
That's weird in America.
Yeah, it's a very random team, like team and sponsor deal. Like
an American that'd be like company. Having like That'd be like having like the Patriots sponsored by like Vodafone or something. It's like so random, like or like UNICEF or whatever. Like something it should just be weird. You know what I mean?
UNICEF.
UNICEF, yeah. Feed those kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, feed those kids. Pay for those sporting events.
Feed those kids while listening to eSpeak in Africa because you'll have the SoundCloud.
Yeah,
don't need that internet.
These guys will have it downloaded.
Dude, all those kids in Africa, bro. That's what makes them keep on going. Is our podcast, bro? At eSpeak.
Hakuna Matata.
Jesus Christ.
That's actually Swahili though. Like.
It's just
Mufasa.
We're so bad, dude. Mufasa. Isn't that what does Mufasa even mean?
I think it stands for king. I think it's either Mufasa or Simba that means king.
I feel like Simba would mean king. Mufasa just doesn't sound like a king name. Like it sounds more of like a Mufasa. Just sounds like a name to me. But Simba, dude, that sounds like a king name.
Yeah, like, but in the spirit of this podcast, I'd like to announce that we are now being sponsored by Blue Microphones.
We're sponsored by Blue Microphones, both Yummy and I.
You know, it could probably happen if we like asked.
I think it probably could.
We reached like 100 subs and we ask, and they'd be like, "Okay."
Probably, yeah. We could even say.
I actually think you have to have 1,000 subs to get sponsorship deals.
1,000 or 100?
I think it's 1,000.
1,000. I mean,
or at least that's through YouTube.
You know what would be cool is like I feel like, cause like okay, from a consumer standpoint, if you see something that's advertised, you kind of like think, oh, it's a big deal. So honestly, I wouldn't mind just asking like the Blue Microphone company, just like, hey, you don't have to pay us, but can we put your crap on our stuff for free so people will think we're more legit? And then just have
it's like, and once we like, if we start doing webcams and shit, we're like just covered in
blue stuff, like, exactly.
Like a hat with the oval blue logo on
it's
it.
Like this video is brought to you by Blue Microphones.
And we have it like plastered all over the screen, like the logo, like everywhere.
And then like. Go on, just go on.
Very like thinly overlaid our webcam pictures.
I was gonna say like the very like massive but very like faintly noticeable just blue logo, like covering up like just everything. It's blue.
We just completely sell out.
our name like turns in from eSpeak. It's like Blue eSpeak INC or whatever. Like we actually turn our actual name into the Blue company. Just like so stupid, dude. Just everything. No, but if they want to sponsor us, they can go for it. Honestly, like there's nothing bad. There's nothing. We're not saying no. Anyone wants to sponsor us?
Our new channel name is eSpeak, presented by Blue.
eSpeak, presented by presented by Blue, or no, what's it? Only made possible by Blue. I mean, to be fair though, it's actually legit. Like, without their mics, we really couldn't be doing this right now. We're such a sellout though, man.
Yeah, they have a great quality for the price.
They're loving this
products.
Yeah. To be fair, I don't think that the Snowball is. I think like the Yeti is like not like. How much was the Snowball? How much is the Snowball?
Mine was like $50.
All right, never mind then.
And I got it. Like I got it 4 years ago.
No, yeah, the Yeti I think is a good. I think actually the Snowball. Sorry, not the Yeti. I think the Snowball is actually a better deal than the Yeti because the Yeti. I don't think it has better. Okay, just for those listening.
Oh, was it $90?
No, it was like 110 or something like that.
Oh.
So for those listening, I have the Blue Yeti, and then he has the Snowball. So you guys could maybe tell the difference. If you can't, then you know that's whatever. But I think like the price comparison really isn't that huge. Like I think that it's much better to buy the Snowball because it's only $50, and I think it sounds better than the or it doesn't sound better, but it sounds pretty comparable to the Yeti, which is double the price. So I think it's better in that sense.
I don't have anything else to say. I think we pretty much covered up this, at least to our abilities to talk about sponsorships.
Well, I think at least the stuff that doesn't involve, I guess it's easy to talk about us, but like for the stuff that isn't, I guess the sponsorship thing is very like, it's a big subject, but it's a very easy subject to discuss. And I think that was something that might make this podcast shorter, but I guess on to like some news and stuff that is relevant to our lives.
Nice transition.
At least for me, we are in the playoffs for HSL, the high school league. We made it officially into the playoffs. We have 1 week left, but the week doesn't really matter.
You guys are gonna win.
We win that. If we win the playoffs, it's ridiculous. The playoffs last for 16 weeks, so the championship game isn't until like mid-July. So like, if we actually win, we're still gonna be in this stupid league till mid-July.
Guys, so everyone pick up your Team Multi hats and jerseys only at the eSpeak store.
Pick merchandise. I'll say this right now. eSpeak is sponsored by Ulti, and eSpeak sponsors Ulti.
So go on to eSpeak.com/store to pick up all of your favorite Ulti memorabilia. So I think we pretty much covered everything here. We very sparingly actually talked about the sponsorship topic, and then we went off about news in quotation marks for a long time. So I think that's about as much as we can talk about it. We ended up stretching this over 25 minutes anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the podcast, guys. Thank you so much for listening. This one was a little different. We apologize. This was kind of a topic that I guess we didn't do. It's not like a research thing. It was just like there wasn't as much to talk about as we could. Also, the dog, I apologize. We are not professionals yet. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Oh, shut your mouth. That's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for listening to eSpeak Podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one.
We will see you in the next one.